Contains old poetry, a style of Allama Iqbal's poetry. You can see the 1926 print. This is Zishan, so we'll talk about it today.
Sir, this is Bangi Dara. Yes, yes, show me.
I saw in it, it was written that one day a spider said to a fly. I saw in this book it was written that one day a spider said to a fly, even wise men like me fall for your stature. You have so many charms that you possess.
Wow, wow, wow.
And Shawnee has now to drown, Shawnee has now are these eyes a lake or a pond? Oh my, oh my, oh my, what you have in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I hope you are well. I welcome you to a new vlog. In today's vlog, I am joined by, before this, we did a podcast. He's a poet, has a passion for poetry. You must have heard it. If you haven't heard it, go to the podcast playlist and listen. I am joined by Zishan Eja Zishani Sahib. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Shani Sahib, how are you? Are you well? Everything good? Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. God's blessing. You tell me.
Alhamdulillah, excellent. Well, today's vlog, sitting under this tree in this cool breeze, is in an open environment. But its feature is also that Zishan Eja Zishani Sahib, as you heard in the podcast, said that he was very inspired by Allama Muhammad Iqbal, the poet of the East. Reading your poetry made me so passionate, and then I also found that poetic environment at home. So, you've likely heard his poetry on this podcast, and in today's podcast, Zishan has a booklet of Allama Muhammad Iqbal's poetry, a 1926 print you're looking at. We'll be discussing that today.
Sir, this is Bangi Dara. Yes, yes, show it to me.
And this is a 1926 print. And this belonged to my father's uncle, Munshi Allah Dida. Oh, he was a poet too. I don't have a collection of his work, but he
bought this print in 1926. Wow, that's before Pakistan was even formed. Right, so.
His uncle bought it, then it went to his son, my uncle, Faiz Ali Allah, may his soul rest in peace.
Okay.
Then.
This book came to me, and I've taken great care of it. But still, you know, it's gotten a little worn out. Look, you can see, 1926, it's been 100 years for this book, and it contains that old poetry, that essence of Allama Iqbal's poetry. That's all in here. Those qualities, those old memories, you could say, are those rare printed things from that time. So this book inspired you, motivated you the most? This is what you read. Yes, absolutely. This is what I used to read. And some verses, I could understand them.
Okay, and some I couldn't.
Because Iqbal mostly used Persian and Arabic. Exactly. So because of that, the Urdu was easy to understand, but some, we had to search them out and try to understand them a little. In Allama Iqbal's poetry, Shikwa and Jawab-e-Shikwa are popular, famous. Absolutely, they are popular, sir, and I swear, I've read that a lot. And I enjoyed that a lot.
Okay.
And I mean, I enjoyed it, knowing this is a 1926 print. I'll recite a few verses from it. Yes, definitely. The
viewers will listen.
So these are verses from Shikwa, on page 181. Allama Iqbal writes, there are other communities too, some are sinful, and some are humble and intoxicated. Quote, some are arrogant, some are lazy, some are negligent, and some are alert. Hundreds despise your name.
Despise it.
And your blessings fall on strangers' homes, while lightning strikes poor Muslims. And believe me, there's a beautiful verse in it, like, we erased falsehood from the face of the earth. We freed mankind from slavery. We populated your Kaaba with foreheads. We embraced your Quran in our hearts. Yet, we are blamed for not being loyal, and you are not loving. Quote, this complaint can only be made by someone like Allama Iqbal. What a statement. So, did you notice Any difference between these new prints and the old ones? I was searching on Google and the poem of the spider and the fly came up.
Okay, so.
I saw in it that it was written, one day, a spider said to a fly, but in this book, it says, one day, someone said to a fly. Quote, see how things are changed in printing. Quote, din and raws, day and day, the meaning is the same. The meaning is the same, but there's a difference in the words. There is a difference in their pronunciation and appearance. So, it happens that writers themselves write and print it out in newspapers, magazines, okay, and on their own savings, or documents, they write poetry, but they write it wrong, but the original literature is something else. Absolutely. The truth is, things change and differences arise. Look at the new print, it's a huge period of 100 years. It was written 100 years ago and was read with great interest, but
now that interest is gone in the new generation to read Iqbal. Is that so? So.
On what basis do you do your poetry? Any new work you've written in this regard, sir? I recite new poetry. I write in Punjabi too, and Urdu too.
Okay.
So recently I wrote a ghazal, Colorful Eyes Hold Dreams.
Colorful, the
dreams in your eyes, those dreams are roses. Quote,
wow, quote, that.
You hold, that. You hold, and the world doesn't know, the answers to the questions the world doesn't know, those answers are with you. And how will the dark night pass? Now return the sky. Return the stars that are with you to the sky. And you two, together, taunt the world for being unveiled. They are all unveiled who are with you. And wise men like me fall for just one of your gestures, such countless displays are with you. That you hold, wow, wow, wow. And Shawnee has decided to drown now, to drown, are these eyes lakes or ponds, ha, 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 that you hold, that. You hold, wow, wow, are these eyes lakes or
ponds that you hold, quote.
See, this is the color that poetry gives, and then it goes forward. So, I hope you like the video. Thank you very much for watching. Zishan Ijaz Shani Sahib, thank you very much too. Thank you. Thank you for watching, Yasir Jami. But why is the concept of understanding God so difficult that people become atheists? There isn't a perfect parallel to say, this is God, but the example the Quran gives is of keeping an olive lamp lit. That's an analogy, but according to Hakim ibn Maskawaya, why is understanding God so difficult? What he presents is similar to what we discussed. It is written that beyond possibility, eternity and infinity become one. Meaning, humans gain knowledge of the whole from the parts, and the whole is completely free from matter. So God is completely like abstract realities. Or perhaps it's not appropriate to say that his essence is the origin, but denying God's resemblance to things establishes the fact that the common man, the layman involved in worldly affairs, how can they understand what is felt or reasonable? Exactly. Well, an interesting point came up in that debate, the argument of contingency. Could you explain to our viewers what that is? For example, we say that God's essence is necessary. Just like the English philosopher said, if God doesn't exist, I would be extinct. Who brings all these contingent existences into being? And then repeatedly brings them into being and destroys them, subjecting them to change? Who brings them into being? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, welcome to another podcast episode. I hope you are all well. With me is Dr. Zahid Mughal. Sir, welcome. A very popular debate took place a few days ago, you must have heard it. Viewers, Mufti Shamail Nadvi and Javed Akhtar Sahib. Javed Akhtar Sahib's point was that no God exists, and Mufti Shamail Nadvi gave arguments that if God doesn't exist, then all of this is impossible. It was quite an interesting discussion, many people listened, it got millions of views, and it's also a fact that believers, some are dogmatically, like we Muslims, we have faith, we believe that God is, and then all the Sharia and all that. But on the other hand, there are atheists who absolutely don't believe, who say that everything happened automatically, they just can't grasp it, they can't understand that any God exists. And then there's the concept of monotheism, the concept of atheism, the concept of polytheism, different concepts about God that exist. So from this, sir, one thing I understand is that on one side, there are believers, whether they believe knowingly or dogmatically, they are believers, and this is on this point, and it's also a fact that someone or something created the universe. But why is this concept of understanding God so difficult that people then become atheists? Thank you very much. The interesting thing is that in the modern era, God is now being discussed in podcasts, which is a good thing. And also, even in this modern era with so much education, this question is arising. Does God exist? I mean, now it's just impossible. Now everything is showing that there is some God here, a creator. Yar Sahib. The basic thing is that man is a man of feelings. We have discussed in another podcast the three categories of existence: necessity, possibility, and impossibility. So, within that, the extent of what's possible constantly interacts with our senses from birth to adulthood and then to death. By senses, we mean physical objects from which light reflects and enters human eyes, and the human mind, in its initial perception, stores, understands, and comprehends it as an object. Now, the two English words, perceive and conceive. If we grasp their essence and then their correlation, the alignment they have with existence, then we'll be able to answer this question. For example, the Quran has stated in many places, and particularly those verses that Sufis often present, in fact, every monotheist believes in it. Ibn Arabi writes in Futuhat that God first affirmed the likeness in this verse and then negated that there's any likeness like God's likeness, meaning there isn't a complete similarity or resemblance. In anything, that we can say this is God, but the example the Quran itself gave is to keep an olive oil lamp burning. It's an allegory, like, and like, a good example. Like an allegory, it's a metaphorical, figurative, symbolic, analogical, like an example. And copy. Something exemplary is a copy, that's another verse in the Quran, that there should be a good, high example given to God. There is no like, right? So if you are so deeply moved by something, by someone's morality, their majesty, beauty, splendor, the petal of a flower, you might say, maybe this is God, like in the story of Abraham, when he saw the sun, the moon, and then he said, no. That's not possible. There can be no like. Quote, so, according to this verse of the Quran, since there's nothing like him, and man is accustomed to sensations. Sensations are the name for all consciousness, the name for things being, man's connection to and relation with things, that we cannot understand them without objects, that existence has any meaning at all.
Exactly.
Now, this great philosopher, although his books have been rare, now his Tajrib al-Umam, and Tadib al-Akalak, and Al-Faz al-Ashgar, these books are now available in PDF and have been published in Egypt and elsewhere. Hakim Abu Ali ibn Miskawai or Maskuya, I've seen both pronunciations. Ibn Miskawai is a very famous name.
Right, his
book, a small volume, Al-Faz al-Akbar, he specifically, and then Shibli Nomani, in his book, Ilm al-Kalam, and Al-Kalam, or the other one, just Kalam, in both books, he specifically dedicated a chapter to it. Why is understanding God so difficult, according to Hakim ibn Miskawai? And what he presents is similar to what we were talking about. So now we have to understand what sensations and intelligibles are, and whether the realm beyond them, that sphere, is beyond the realm of possibility. For example, Mujaddid Alf-Sani, may God have mercy on him, wrote in Mabda'i Ma'ad that beyond the limit of possibility, eternity and infinity become united. They become united, and possibility is obviously that form of existence which manifests in being. That is, all things are under the authority of possibility, its domain. So we have to see that now, as a human being who has a specific identity, although it is not authentic, still, I have my own way of understanding existence. How I make a thing, and then how it is rationally processed in my mind and establishes a connection with the external world. It's
really nothing.
other than that. If there is something, then what is it? And then what do we mean by God's level in simplicity and abstraction? We just have to try to understand this. See, from childhood, as soon as a person rushes towards puberty, when that light enters his eyes, he begins to read the external world as a thing.
Absolutely.
And now objects have their specific volumes, characteristics, and exist in space and time.
Absolutely.
And then, well, the human mind gradually processes all this data and develops its memory. So, it acquires or accumulates experiences, and then a person says, this is my knowledge.
Absolutely.
Knowledge. When light from the outside world enters a person's brain through the eyes as electrical signals, the first perception is a percept.
Absolutely. The
Percept exists as a thing in the external world, physically. Inside, the first image of that particular object, like this glass, is an idea, through the eye, a particular idea. Absolutely. So, that first intelligible thing enters inside. Well, now this perception from percepts, that is, the first perceptual image of a particular thing, that this is a glass, that it is in front of me. Absolutely. Now, as I said before, the human mind is a dynamic entity. It doesn't just stop there, it doesn't stand still satisfied. Instead, it thinks that there are many glasses that are made of other materials as well. So, it creates a class, a whole, an entire general concept from it, and later it says, well, there can be many kinds of glasses. All of that is its genus, it can have many species.
absolutely. So,
Creating that general concept. The percept is outside, the concept is inside, an intelligible reality. That is, the general concept, the general idea that the intellect has created, we call that a concept, conceiving. Absolutely. So, a concept is conceived from a percept. Absolutely. This is perceptible, the percept is perceptible, and the concept is intelligible, from the intellect, intelligible, absolutely, intellectualized. Okay, so now, what happens is, slowly, man abstracts the idea, abstractly speaking, that is, the human mind goes to a level where a particular object, understood as such, need not exist outside, even if it doesn't, it exists within.
exactly.
So its attention isn't on a particular thing, but the idea exists inside, it's become a source. A rational truth exists within. If what's outside, like this glass, these are called particulars.
Exactly.
Particulars are particularities. Particulars. Parts. But, the technical term is particulars, that is, sensations, particulars, and the relations, additions, names between them. Establishing all this is knowledge. When man makes the entire reality rational, he can slowly retain the knowledge of universals, without the external, without particulars. So universals can be completely free of material things. If that happens, it's complete abstraction. Okay, generally, with abstraction, we take a specific aspect of a material thing, like, if I were to ask, did you see a car? You'd say, yes, like the car here at the university. So, when I ask you, can you tell me about the car you saw, do you bring up a specific aspect of it as an image?
Exactly. An image will form.
Meaning you've abstracted a specific aspect of that particular car. Not all aspects, but if you internalize a general class of that car in such a way that you no longer need the precepts, the perceived object outside, then that is complete abstraction, and that is the knowledge of universals.
Absolutely. Meaning,
From particulars, one gains knowledge of universals, and universals are completely free from matter.
okay, 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 okay.
So humanity is numerous in the form of individuals.
Absolutely.
And when the human intellect rationalizes this reality, a concept develops, a conceptualized entity to be a human. So this idea, this concept of being human, is not yours, mine, or anyone else's.
Absolutely.
Their general form, which is completely free from matter, is a completely abstract thing. So, a completely abstract thing has no particular image association.
Okay, less.
Comely. So God is completely similar to abstract. Realities, or it's not appropriate for me to say that his essence is the same, but nonetheless, the negation of God's resemblance to things establishes this same thing. Okay, that we develop universals from particulars in such a way that the universals are completely free from matter. At that point, that is complete abstraction.
Absolutely.
And then less comely, that thing moves closer to reality. Absolutely, you are right, and reality. Okay, now the real difficulty here is that the question you have asked, how can the common man, that layman who is caught up in the affairs of the world, understand what is perceived, what is rationalized?
Absolutely.
Now, if I have eaten an apple, there is a taste. I understood that the taste is inside the apple. Who has the ability to understand and perceive the reality that taste is a material thing, a configured chemical thing? How can there be taste inside it? That's why the Quran says that those with knowledge and those who are the opposite are not equal. Intelligence, awareness, contemplation, reflection.
When a person does all these things, they will reach the universals, reach complete abstraction.
Then, they will attain the interpretation of, say, He is God, the One.
Absolutely.
And when he has done this, he will have no doubt about God. He'll have no doubts or suspicions about him. Good. The example you gave earlier, that debate about the denial of God, testified to the same thing. Fundamentally, the manifestations of God's names and attributes, and the comparison, the contrast in the names and attributes. For example, Ibn Arabi's entire philosophy consists of the contrasts of the names and attributes, and they are, in a sense, opposites of each other.
Absolutely.
And there's conflict between them. Rumi, for example, wrote a lot about the named one, that the conflict of names and attributes can never end, because when you talk about creation, the names and attributes will remain in conflict.
Absolutely.
And as long as they remain in conflict, like the incident that just happened in Karachi, to see bodies burning, and then there are accidents, tsunamis, wars. Now, on this basis, innocent people, simple people, gullible people, they immediately say, if there is a God, then why doesn't he stop it immediately? He doesn't understand. He can't grasp that this is a manifestation of his names and attributes, which we call creation. Absolutely. That's exactly the point that man doesn't understand, but that would lead us in another direction. In this debate, a very interesting point came up, the argument of contingency. Could you explain to the viewers what that was? For example, we have said that the existence of God is necessary.
Absolutely. That is,
His existence cannot be non-existence. That is, his existence will be. In contrast, the second is possibility. And by possibility, I mean from ayin to all of existence falls within the realm of possibility. Even all the minds, the celestial intellects, all souls, and whatever jewels there are after that, analysis or dissection, and all the atoms, atomism, all of it, and then later all these foreign entities, natural existences, all of these come into the realm of possibility. So, ultimately, these didn't come into being by themselves. So, as that English philosopher said, if God didn't exist, it would be necessary to invent him. Who brings all these possible existences into being, and then repeatedly gives them existence and then destroys them, subjecting them to change? Who then connects them? So, for this, we rationally prepare this argument that since these don't come into existence by themselves, therefore, to bring them into existence, we need an existence that isn't subject to change like them. Exactly, that is, Aristotle also gave the same argument that is, the unmoved mover, that is, he himself is not subject to change, but he gives existence to all possible existences. And this argument of contingency, exactly.
This is the reality, viewers. And the easiest way is what the prophets have given, that Allah should be believed in, recognized through his attributes. The teachings of the prophets should be followed, so that an ordinary person can easily reach his Lord, his Creator, God. So, Dr. Sahib, thank you very much. I am grateful for your valuable time. Viewers, thank you very much. Thank you for watching Yasir Jami podcast. Allah.
Even at wedding feasts, there were combined beds. Yes, combined beds. Double beds weren't a thing at all. Absolutely. So this universal truth isn't truly universal. They're made up truths of their time. Very early on, when we study the universe, we go backwards from today towards its beginning.
Absolutely.
We stop at 10 to the power of minus 34 seconds. That's the point where our universe begins. Aligns. Definition is the distance between 2 points, a start and an end. A universal truth is only universal if it's universally accepted, and that's the reality. In these long drawn-out tones, wrinkles begin to appear. Hands slip from the mortar of recklessness, from the dust of impiety. Nobody finds the edge, nobody finds support in life. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I hope all friends are well. With me is Professor Dr. Iftikhar Ahmad Shahia. In life, some things are reality, some are based on deception, some are lies, some are truth, and some are truly true, generally called universal truths. So, doctor, these universal truths, are they always true? Yeah, because that's why they're called universal. For example, like the sun rising and setting. It rises in the east and sets in the west, that's a fact. That's a fact. Similarly, day turning into night, right? Then after day, night, night after day, right? And these are, these are universal, right? Some are timeless truths, others, Dr. Sahib, exist, they have an existence. Like you gave the example of the sun, some humans, we ourselves, have created them, like 2 plus 2 is 4. That's also a universal truth in mathematics. So, see, that's it. I mean, 2 plus 2 is always 4. Just like you can say that in reality, every era has its own truth.
Exactly. And the
Truths of an era, they end with that era, they change, they get
buried. So,
you can understand it like in some eras, these Mendi ceremonies and these customs, they were more prevalent.
exactly. You're
Also from a village, we also have a village background. But today, you see combined mehendis are happening, combined weddings are happening, combined processions and receptions are also. Combined beds too. Yes, combined beds too. There was no tradition of double beds. Exactly. So, this is not a universal truth. These are created. These are the truths of the times. Well, in that era, that was the truth. Today's era has its own truth.
no. Today's
Era has its own truth. Today, look at success. The one with money is considered more successful. But some truths are there, like this mango tree, it will always bear mangoes, not apples. This is a reality. This is reality. But it's also true that if you graft it with another tree, then you'll get something else, the breed will change. That is, then, you won't find universal truth. And another thing is that everything has a beginning and an end. This universe has a start and an end. When we study the early universe, we go back from today to its start. At 10 to the power of minus 34 seconds, we stop. That's the point where the universe began, and before that, we have no information. Time didn't exist then. If time didn't exist, you couldn't talk about it. Everything is tied to time because we're in space and time. You can only talk about it from within. A line can't start without a point. If a line has a start, it also has an end. When we say life has a start, it must also end. Everyone comes into the world and leaves. A line is the distance between 2 points, A, beginning and end. End. Dot. Human thought is also limited. Where? Can you take it? Knowing and not knowing. Some things we understand, and some things we don't know or perceive. What we aren't aware of, obviously, we remain ignorant of.
Absolutely. When
We understand things, we accept them as reality. So the biggest problem is people don't accept the truth. Truth has to be, but you have to accept the truth as truth. A universal truth is only universal when it's accepted as such. Accepted as such. And the reality is a universal truth always will be. Thank you, Doctor, for your precious time. Thank you viewers so much. It's evening, so it's enjoyable. Comma, sitting beneath this tree has a charm of its own. It's a universal truth that it's evening. And under this tree is peace. They say, harsh words create wrinkles of indifference and apathy. Slipping away, no one finds life's support. Quote. That is the reality and you can't turn away. Universal truths are universal. Thanks for watching. Thank you.
Food Panda.
कोई ऑर्डर कर दे यार।
मैं करता हूँ।
ये है कदीमाबाद सर्विस। प्लीज हमारा ऑर्डर लिख लीजिए। 2 अदद बड़े पिज्जा, लहसुन वाली डबल रोटी और मुर्ग के करारे पान।
इनको पुराने तरीकों से ऑर्डर करने दें। 35 प्लस सिटीज, 20,000 प्लस रेस्टोरेंट्स, 50,000 रजिस्टर्ड राइडर्स और लाइव ऑर्डर ट्रैकिंग के साथ आपका ऑर्डर फूड पैंडा संभाल लेगा।
How will 2026 be? And right now there are predictions of wars, this and that, scary predictions. Look, we should also make a prediction. The prediction I'm making, Jami Sahib, Dr. Sahib, is that AI will change everything in our lives. It will change a lot. It will change your relations. Now, someone who faced failures last year, what will they celebrate? In the new year, there's also something else. Keep targets unachievable.
good, a non-achievable.
Target will embarrass you later. You already know it can't be achieved. It's not like AI will earn us money. How will AI earn money? I've traveled to many countries, lived abroad, so you've seen New Year's celebrations. They do it. Actually, nations that celebrate. And right now, it's foggy here. It's possible the sun won't rise that day. It might be foggy. The sun of 2026 might not rise at all. Yes, the sun will rise, but here it might. They just spout philosophy like that, saying there's great sorrow in leaving. Oh brother, what did you even do? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I hope all friends are enjoying the cold of their lives in good health. the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. With me is Professor Dr. Iftikhar Ahmed Shahia Sahib. Dr. Sahib, every year there's a moment when one year is going and another is coming. The sorrow of one leaving, the joy of another arriving. Somewhere there are celebrations in happiness, and someone's memories are going back with the past year. So this coming and going of the year has a big impact on people. Although the sun sets as usual, the sun rises the next day as usual. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it greatly affects people's moods that the old year is going and the new year is coming. Absolutely, it's true that people are affected by their own thinking. What happens is, as soon as the year passes, when the new year comes, you get a chance to think about what your dreams will be for the new year, what your missions will be, what your objectives will be, and how you will achieve them. Now, why is there sadness about what's gone? The sadness is actually because the whole year has passed, and whatever targets you fixed, you achieved some of them, and some you didn't. If you've achieved more, then you'll be happy, but if you haven't been able to achieve what you should have, then you're sad. A
Sad heart. Well, that.
kind of sadness is a good thing. But some people just spout philosophy, oh, I'm so sad about leaving. What have you got? No, doctor, there are two things. The sadness of leaving, which is a big deal, and the excitement of the New Year's celebration. But celebrations, Jami, should be for those who've achieved something in the past year. Absolutely. What's someone who's only had failures celebrating? Though hope springs eternal. Wishes are crazy, but they exist. Don't let your wishes run wild.
Exactly. So,
When the year's ending, like today, December, a number changes, and it's the next year. 25 becomes 26. The day goes from Wednesday to Thursday. Then it's a new year, and the world celebrates. Doctor, you've traveled, lived abroad, seen New Year's celebrations. They really celebrate because they've achieved something. Nationally, they celebrate their year's achievements. Like a university, when the year ends, they're happy. You enjoy the coming year, not the one that's gone. You feel no sorrow, instead you're happy. If there's sorrow, what's there to be happy about?
Right, so the point is,
You have to see how you're going to enjoy things. For that, you make plans for the new year.
absolutely. What happens is, what you couldn't.
Achieve, you try to achieve. And you see why you couldn't achieve it. What were the reasons? Did I have shortcomings in my planning? I should have completed my planning. Or what was the reason that I wasn't successful? So, you mean instead of celebration, self-assessment should be done, to see what mistakes I made in the previous year. No, celebrate, definitely celebrate. I'm not saying don't celebrate. Look, the world's doing it, they can't all be wrong, right? Celebrate New Year's, enjoy it all, I'm all for it. I'm saying, definitely plan for 26. So, when 2026 dawns, that sun brings new hopes, new dreams, new desires for you. Okay, doctor, let's plan.
Roadzen is a global technology company using AI to transform auto insurance. Some of the world's largest car makers, insurers, and fleets rely on Roadzen to reduce accidents, process lightning-fast claims, lower insurance premiums. With annual revenues approaching $50 million, Roadzen is racing towards profitability. This isn't just AI, it's real-world innovation powering the future of mobility and insurance. Roadzen, RDZN.
And viewers, you've seen, heard it on different channels, the year hasn't even started, and predictions begin. How will 2026 be? And these predictions are of wars, and this and that, scary predictions. No, look, we should also make a prediction. My prediction, Jami, is 2026 will be the year of I. The year of I. This sounds right, doctor, this artificial intelligence. Look how fast artificial intelligence is penetrating our lives. Your 2026 will change the world map, change it. And doctor, being a professor of mathematics, he started working on AI back in 2012. In 2012, you couldn't imagine it then. When we started, we told people the age of AI had arrived, people didn't believe it. But it's here. In just 13, 14 years, the landscape has changed. And now you're saying the whole year will be AI's year? The year of I. And those who develop their skills according to AI, viewers, they will succeed. For success, you need to set the right standards for yourself. So, doctor, how will AI change our lives? It'll change everything. It'll change a lot. Your relationships will change. Okay, along with that, it'll create big problems for jobs. But I heard recently that AI will make things easier for people. We won't have to do many of the tasks that we find laborious or difficult. There are two things in this. Smart people will benefit from it. Obviously, you'll save on labor. But you still have to do the creative work yourself.
Absolutely. It saves.
You that labor. For example, someone has to draft a letter. They're thinking about it, writing it. But when they draft it with AI's help, who's going to check and say, why did you have AI draft the letter? See, it's still writing it. For example, usually, an officer dictates to their PA, hey, this. Now, what does the PA do? They write it in shorthand and then prepare the letter and bring it back, and the officer reads it, corrects it, and signs it. Now, AI will do the same thing, right? So, doctor, doesn't this also show viewers that AI will reduce errors, the chances of errors will decrease?
Absolutely.
Many mistakes that are our own shortcomings, AI will guide us so much that the scope for errors will be greatly reduced. And that's what we're seeing in reality. And AI will now reach a level where it'll be in reports. Lots of work, housework, agriculture, they'll be doing more reports. So, 2026 could be called the year of I. The year of AI means we need to plan for it, even at the university level. If we don't bring in different AI-related projects, we won't progress.
Absolutely. Well, that
Requires funding. And here, you need training and funding to survive. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, in robotics, since you mentioned robotics, I have a student who went to Taiwan for her PhD. She's a mathematics student, viewers, and she enrolled in robotics there. She had a PhD scholarship, and believe me, she faced difficulties in the first semester. But she overcame them, worked hard, and struggled. Now, her entire next education is industry-based.
okay.
So she'll work in robotics, and then go work in industry. You get paid well in industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have to look at your future too.
Absolutely. So,
Today, Yami Sahib, you didn't mention tea. She asked about tea, and they said we're fasting today. Even though the weather's so nice today, it's cold too. It's as cold as it is, so the craving for tea is higher. But Dr. Sahib, sometimes it happens that the craving remains, and the thing you want isn't available. It should have been. That I craved tea and got tea, but I didn't get tea. So life is such that you don't always get what you want. It's not always possible. It's not necessary that you get exactly what you want, but if you get close to it, that's enough. That's enough. Absolutely. It's not like you get 100% of the result you're thinking of. You see variations even in simulation. So now all the calculations are very complex. Okay? There's no simplicity left now, and if you keep life simple, you avoid a lot of problems. But your actions should be very complex. Complex, absolutely. But Dr. Sahib, it's not necessary that if we don't get tea here, we get disappointed. We'll move on. When the video ends, we'll go there and get tea. So, the struggle should continue. You'll definitely get what you crave if you struggle. And if you lose courage there, then you won't get anything. Then the things that were left in 2025 will remain. And in 2026 too, if you don't struggle, those things will remain in 2026 too. Yeah, this young generation, these young people, they need to plan the coming year really well. It's crucial because the coming year is the year of I. So, even the
Planning should be done with I.
you can tell AI what you're thinking, and ask it what you should do. Of course, you still have to do it yourself. AI won't do it. It'll just point you in the right direction, but the important thing is that your passions, your motivations, those should be right. Also, set achievable targets. Unachievable targets will embarrass you later. Set targets you know you can achieve, based on reality. And set your targets keeping your abilities in mind. Everyone has their own environment, right? You have to plan keeping that environment in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's
Good. It's essential to be honest, at least be sincere with yourself. If you're not sincere with yourself, viewers, then it's very difficult to achieve anything. Also, money, you know, money is a huge motivation.
absolutely.
Right, in your life, never underestimate the importance of money. Okay? And those who say money doesn't do anything, they're just thinking nonsense. Now, without money, you can't even plan. Okay? And think about 26, that, I'm telling you, is the year of money. Doctor, these are the times where friendships, relationships, connections, everything is tied to money. Tied to money. And always remember, a person can never grow if they don't generate their own source of income. So, doctor, it's not possible for AI to just earn us money. How will AI earn money? Obviously, look, AI is just software. It can guide you on how to earn money. You need to develop those inner skills that, using AI, you can earn money. That means you can earn more through it. Tasks that used to take hours or days can now be done in seconds, right? So, I don't think that next year, 2026, its sun will rise, and it will rise with great splendor. And right now, it's foggy here, maybe the sun won't rise that day. Maybe the sun of 2026 won't rise at all. Yes, the sun will rise, but maybe not here. That's possible, but before that, it will rise beyond Jalem. In many places, the sun of 2026 will remain hidden, but that doesn't mean the year won't come. The year will come, the number will definitely change. Desires will also change. Desires will flourish too. Okay? Yes, failures will turn into successes too. One shouldn't be discouraged. Discouragement isn't a good thing anyway. Yes, and keep your spirits high. See, when you want to conquer K2, have the courage of the Himalayas. Yes, have the courage of the Himalayas. Absolutely. Listen, viewers, Dr. Sahib, and one thing to remember, Jami Sahib, the peaks are covered in snow. And you know, when a storm comes, even big trees shake from their place. Absolutely. So, when troubles and difficulties come, don't panic. Absolutely. Face them, and remember that Trials only come to those who are working. They come to those who are traveling. And remember that God only puts as much burden on a person as they can bear. Absolutely true. It's a fact. It's not light. God will put more burden on you than your strength. That's
Absolutely not the case. Absolutely not. That's why, yes.
This is true, and may the sun of 2026 bring safety and greatness to all. May everyone achieve success in 2026 as well. And for those friends who are no longer with us in 2025, may God forgive them and ease their path ahead.
Amen.
And who knows how many more friends won't be here in 26. This is just how the universe works. People do their part in the world and then move on. Absolutely. Many won't be here, and many new people will come into the world. Yes, many new ones will come. Things will change with the changing numbers, or rather, they'll continue as they are. But those who work hard will achieve success in 2500, 2600, 2700. Those who don't work hard will remain the same, even if the year changes. They say stars are a source of hope, and that's where the desire for greatness comes from. Now, let's hope there's no fog and we see the sun of 2026. Thank you very much, Dr. Sahib. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you for watching. Thank you, all. God bless. So, recently there was an incident, that student one. Yeah, really strange. That Olive Mad one is common, not the one I'm talking about, and you've assumed that's it. This one is unique in the universe. For the rest of the youth, the message is that life, teas arrived, great. Doctor, well, in life, peace is really important, very important. How do you find peace? In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Viewers, I hope you are all well. Today, I'm sitting under a mango tree with a special person. You listen to our podcast. With me is Professor Dr. Iftikhar Ahmad Shahia. Doctor, special people sit under mangoes. This tree gives us sweet fruit, but still, poor thing, it's just a mango. See, when this tree comes into people's lives, it becomes special. Yeah, well. See, some friends came from Chalkwell, and when they saw this tree, they were so surprised. Its leaning branches fascinated them. Some even climbed it. It's a big tree. Very large. Some lean against its trunk. Like meditating. Yeah, taking pictures. They really enjoyed it. It's truly enjoyable. Even today, the weather is nice, sunny, but we're sitting under it, not feeling cold at all. This mango tree is the AAM with olive, not the common mango I'm talking about, which you thought. This is special, unique in the universe. It gives us mangoes, special for us and the environment. See, Jami Sahib, life, someone must have planned it, right?
Absolutely, planned it.
Behind this planning, someone had the thought, so they planted this mango tree here. Today, it's grown, and centuries have passed. Exactly. Now, you can imagine, in today's era, the era we live in, we've lived our lives, but for young people like you, and other young people, the message is that life isn't just about hard work anymore. You need to be smart too. Okay, so hard work alone isn't enough anymore. Smartness means adapting your skills to meet society's demands. To go from ordinary to extraordinary, embrace new tools and needs. Otherwise, you'll be left behind, even with hard work. It's all quite fascinating. Absolutely, the natural environment has its own charm. But these things also teach us something. Someone planted this tree, and someone else ate its fruit. If you look closely, the lower the branches hang, the more beautiful it is. Humility. It's rare to see a tree like this. Such a big mango tree, especially here at the shrine, which adds to its sanctity. Absolutely. And next to it, there's the student canteen, the food cafe, which is also enjoyable.
right next to the grounds where,
young people and children are playing. Exercise is essential for health.
absolutely, this.
Frustration is a strange thing that you see in young people these days. Absolutely, like that recent student incident. Yes, a very strange incident. For things like that to happen at the university level is a signal.
Absolutely, that.
Our youth are under a lot of stress. Absolutely, doctor, depression exists, but controlling yourself when depressed. This only happens when you lose all control. There's also the question, Yanni, of how much control you have over yourself. Is it 50%? Question mark, 60%? Or 70%? Or is it 30% for you? If you have control between 30 or 50%, that's more dangerous. Less. Control means knowing when to keep your feelings in check. It's about timing. If you don't control things, your progress is affected, your abilities are damaged, and your expectations aren't met.
Exactly.
Then what happens? Stress. Is multidimensional, coming from different directions. Parents have separate stress, their expectations are high. Then there's the teacher's expectations, a high expectation level. Then friends' expectations, and relatives or siblings' expectations. See, everyone has expectations, so many expectations. Everyone wants something different from you, absolutely, so it's important to neutralize that stress. But doctor, when stress takes over and you lose your senses, then these things happen. Right, these things happen. I agree, but these things aren't sudden. There's a story behind them. Ah, doctor, the tea's here. Wonderful. Here, doctor, have some tea. Wonderful. Here you go. Thank you. You're right, it's not sudden, there's a whole story behind it. And there are a few things involved. Universities should have psychological treatment centers where kids can get guidance and go to teachers. Right. Students should be identified with a plan and then, of course, they need treatment.
Absolutely, absolutely. What is?
Good, for example? Like I've told you many times, even during a PhD, there's a lot of stress.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And even during an MPhil, when students are doing research, they're also going through a lot of stress.
Absolutely right.
Well, during exams, the stress increases. Often, there are multiple factors. It's not just one factor. You can't really blame just one thing.
Absolutely. It's
very difficult to identify the cause. That's the thing, isn't it? When you lose your senses, you're just overwhelmed by one thing. These are the things. By the way, the tea is very good. You made it with jaggery. It's wonderful. Jaggery tea. So, viewers, look, sitting under this mango tree, drinking tea has its own unique flavor. Absolutely, absolutely. And also, it gives a classic view. Absolutely, very
nice. It's
natural, isn't it? You also get peace under it, a sense of spirituality.
yes, there's peace too. Absolutely. What happens is that a
Person, a human, as always. Looking for rest, while life isn't really in a format of rest, not at all. Well, peace is a very important thing in life.
very important. Well,
How do you find peace? Everyone's different. Some say sleeping, some eating. It's different for everyone. For me, peace is look, like we're sitting now, this, your productive kind of thinking, when you're doing something like that, then you find peace within yourself. But doctor, some people find peace in work, some in not working, so everyone has a different criteria for peace. That's true, but look, life is all about work. This world is made for work. Like you're saying, it's a format of work, of hard work. This format, the struggle, the world isn't built for comfort. See, Doc, there are two things. Man was made for paradise, right? He was sent down from there, where there's bliss, luxury, peace. He came to Earth, but the world isn't about comfort, it's constant work. Another thing is, young people, they need to plan. Especially if you're starting a job, or in the early days, you need to plan your way forward. Without planning, it's hard to survive. First, Doc, it's important that no matter how tough it gets, don't panic. Exactly, no matter how tough. Also, you need to train yourself. Training is essential. Otherwise, you can't handle stress. I think, Doc, with so much study, there should be a stress management subject. I should know my stress level, when I'm managing, and when it's out of control. When we were in China, I'll tell you something interesting. In universities, at the BS level, there was a sports course. Really? A sports course. Every batch had to take it. The health and physical education people trained the whole class. Like badminton, table tennis, everyone played. Well, they actually play it as part of the course. They get proper training. Every game has training. It's like extracurricular activities here, but there it's part of the curriculum. And they take health measures, so fitness is essential. Stress is managed, you see, by playing, you see, like these kids playing here, they relax and unwind. It's true. That's why stress management is vital in life. The further you go, the more stress you face. If we can't manage stress, it overwhelms you, it consumes you, and you can't think of anything else. Then you see what people do, and it's important to avoid that. Our message to our listeners is, if you have a friend who's stressed, help them. Help them out of that stress, or at least tell their teachers. Teachers are good, they're not bad. They'll help students. A friendly environment is needed to solve student problems. It's
essential. We'll
focus on that. Those were Dr. Sahib's words, special words in a simple way. Dr. Sahib is special, and he has a TikTok, Iftikhar Shahia. Be sure to follow and subscribe to them on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, and don't forget to follow and subscribe to Yasir Jami as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.
thank you.
तुम सोचते थे ना कितना अच्छा हो कि जमीन से निकले हर दाने को कोई बड़ा मकसद मिल जाए। कितना अच्छा है ना कि तुमने जो भी सोचा वो हमने तुम्हारे साथ मिलकर मुमकिन बनाया, क्योंकि हमने तुम्हें और इस मिट्टी को पूरे दिल से अपनाया है। तभी तो पिछले 35 सालों से नेस्ले का दिल है पाकिस्तान।
She's getting 4.5 lakhs, but now he's left his job and moved into business. After matriculation, young people are worried. If they want to get a job, they need degrees, and if they want to do business, they need money. So, Dr. Sahib, can't a business be started with zero investment? It can, exactly, it can be started, but for that, you have to think first. So, tell us about a business that doesn't fail. The most important thing for business is an idea. Absolutely. Now, along with the idea, the second thing is, you go to a market, There's only one shop selling one thing, one person's is doing great, and the other's isn't. The reason for that is, Abraham Lincoln, who was the American president, when he sent his son to school for the first time, he wrote a letter to his teacher. That letter is very impressive. Almost everyone should read it. In it, at one point, he writes to his son's teacher, "Make my son capable of doing business honestly." Quote, "But even if there's honesty, everything, but no skill," it reminded me of a friend of mine. When the COVID-19 era came, someone advised him to make masks. He had masks made for 5 or 7 lots. Now, there are piles of boxes. Once you get the information, then you connect skilled people with you, and your business will grow day and night, by leaps and bounds. He said, "For 4 Sundays that I went to the Sunday bazaar, not even one vest was sold." Quote, "Oh no, 4 Sundays, not even one vest was sold?" Yes, and not even a towel was sold. And I was the same, but I didn't lose courage, and today, look, I have a whole shop. Dr. Sahib, some motivational speakers say to aim high, keep your sights high. But analyzing a big business, successful people aren't business owners. I've never seen a salaried millionaire be very successful. I've realized life is built on hard work and toil, not on relaxation. If you think there's relaxation, well, there isn't in this world. They say there are worlds beyond the stars, so as you move forward, you'll have ups and downs. These ups and downs are part of business. If you have a business, it will surely sink one day. Someone said, walk fast and avoid collisions. Walk fast and avoid
Collisions, if you walk slowly.
in a crowd, you'll be crushed. Avoid collisions in business. A businessman avoids conflict. Money multiplies money. Money attracts money, and slowly businesses expand. Welcome to another podcast episode. Once again, with me is someone you know. We've done a podcast before. Professor Dr. Iftikhar Ahmed Shahi is here. Sir, thank you for your time. Thank you, Yanni. Thank you. It's been a while since we met. It took time to get your time. Many fans listen to your discussions, comment, thank you to them too. So Dr. Sahib, since you have a lot of experience, you've had a job, and your students are currently employed and running businesses. There's a fear after graduation, whether to get a job or start a business. The mind splits in two. Some say do business, some say get a job. Getting a job is difficult, and there's a fear of business failing, that the little money you have will be lost. So, I want to know from you today, since you have experience, and your students are currently involved in business, doing business, you attend their events as a chief guest. Then you also invite them, like the other day you invited a student to a seminar, and I was shocked that after graduation, he got a job paying $450,000, and now he's left that job to start a business. So, I was very surprised, but you invited him to inspire the students, and he spoke very well. So, I definitely want to know from you, he must have consulted with you. He and other students must consult, so tell us about a business that doesn't fail. Look, first of all, it's important that you get complete information about whatever business you want to start. So, when that student of mine came to me, I asked him, what do you want to do? He told me his goal, and I told him that for that, you need to gain experience in those skills first. So, he joined a company, and that thing you were saying, when he started. Obviously, they checked him out. Then after 3 years, like he said, he quoted that job at 450,000 rupees per month. And then he started his own company. So the thing is, first of all, you need to have courage. If you don't have that courage inside you, then you can't do anything. If you're just full of fear, then every business will fail. What is fear anyway? See, fear is what we talked about before, that you have to get rid of fear from within yourself. What happens in business is that if you don't take risks, you can't do any business. So, risk is necessary in business? Risk is absolutely necessary. You see, only the one who knows how to swim will drown. When we were studying, we had a subject where they would say that the more risky a manager is, the more successful they are.
Exactly.
They take big risks, but then the reward is also big. For that, it's necessary that you do something different from others. See, in business, you have to make commitments. What about a job? In a job, you're selling your skills.
Absolutely.
And someone is paying you for it. But what happens is that there comes a time when you're close to retirement, and you feel like you have nothing left, absolutely, because you don't have your own business, and you don't have any savings. Right? So at that time, you feel that business, at least, is something that can be passed on to future generations. It's said that a job will only sustain you, but a business will sustain future generations. This is a reality, absolutely a reality. And also, you see, many people succeed because they take risks in their business, experiment with new things. Today's young people are very inclined towards business. Think about it, given the current situation, it's sometimes hard to make ends meet with a job. It gets
very difficult. A job has a fixed income, fixed resources, and inflation is rising.
Daily, a business, if it works, if it takes off, is different. The fear of failure is always there in business, and a business will fail if you show weakness. If you haven't learned the skills, understood the business, and just invested. There's risk, but you also need a strong heart and self-confidence. And secondly, when you take a risk, remember, the world is built on hope. They say, stars of despair set on the horizon, but from there rises the sun of new resolve. Quote. So, you take a risk, and success depends on that risk. Sometimes you face losses, like, to take a big leap, you have to take a few steps back. I was thinking, there's fear on both sides. People want a business that won't fail, a consumable product that makes them millionaires instantly. That's what people want and look for. They search in videos, I have this much money, what business should I start? And on the other hand, the one seeking a job fears whether they'll pass the interview, if they'll hire me. If it's not a regular job, they fear they might get fired anytime. Fear is basically on both sides, but opportunity exists on both sides, so it's important to remove that fear from within. As long as that fear remains inside you, you can't do anything. Yes, there's that fear in a job, and also, nowadays, getting a job is very difficult because the concept of a job isn't what it used to be. Exactly. So it's important that if you start your own business, the most important thing for a business is an idea.
Exactly. And
along with the idea, the second thing is sponsorship. Meaning you should have the money you're investing in your business. For that, either you sell your idea, meaning get a sponsor for it, or if you have the money, you connect with someone who has the idea. So these things, until you do them, your business can't succeed. Actually, doctor, the purpose of a company is to bring talent together to form a company.
Exactly. The
Meaning of a company is that when all those people come together and work, they definitely achieve some good reward. Secondly, Jamie, tell me, our population is so large. Which business wouldn't succeed in it? It will definitely succeed. It's impossible for a business not to succeed, but the thing is, they don't want to improve. It's like, you go to a market, there are two shops selling the same thing. One is thriving, the other isn't. The reason is skill. One has the skill to sell, the other doesn't learn it. And another thing is,
good manners are essential. Good
manners are important, and how you gain the customer's trust. Absolutely, and it's true. See, when you win a customer's trust, that one customer brings in more customers. Exactly. Instead of just one, it's like a chain reaction.
chain.
Yes, like a chain reaction. He talks about you to others, and that's how you get more. But if you have a bad attitude with someone, they'll share that too. Absolutely. I'll give you my example. There was a fruit shop outside, Taba. I used to go there to buy fruit. One guy was close, but very rude. If you asked him how the fruit was, he'd answer rudely, leave if you don't want it. The other was twice as far, but his manners were great. As soon as you went, he'd say, welcome. Look, I got this good fruit. Take this one's bad, don't take it. Quote. So I'd travel twice the distance just because of his manners. The other might have good stuff, but his rudeness made me not want to stop. See, this is very important. Abraham Lincoln, the American president.
Okay, so
When he sent his son to school for the first time, he wrote a letter to his teacher. And that letter is really amazing. Almost everyone should read it. He writes to his son, he writes to the teacher, make my son capable of selling his intelligence and skills to the highest bidder. But keep his heart, mind, and feelings to himself. Quote. Your heart and feelings should be your own, but you sell your skills.
absolutely.
You have to sell them in a way that you see your skills become valuable. As your skills become more valuable, you'll succeed in your job. But ultimately, the person you work for is benefiting from your skills. But the advantage of business is that it's your own. You have a lot of interest in it, and you work hard day and night. And that hard work pays off later. Absolutely. Secondly, doctor, if there's deceit in your business, it will definitely fail. If there's fraud, it will definitely fail. If your business is based on honesty and you've started it in an area where it's needed, where there are customers and consumers, it will never fail. Ups and downs are part of life. And another thing, when you start a business, review what your customers need.
Yeah, get reviews, definitely. Are
You providing everything they need? Usually, we just open a shop and sit there, start a business and sit there. It doesn't work like that. You should get their feedback too.
absolutely.
See, even in online business, when we want to buy something, the first thing we look at is the reviews people have left. And what points they've given it, okay? How many points out of 5, or out of 10? 9, 9.5, then we prefer it because people are obviously buying things from it based on its reliability. You see, online business is growing.
Absolutely. Even
In online business, people say, you can open and check our product and still return it.
absolutely.
Who gives such a big offer? Honesty in business is a very important factor. Do business with honesty. But even if you have honesty, everything, but no skills. It reminds me of a friend. When COVID-19 came, someone suggested he make masks. He had 5 or 700,000 worth of masks made. Now there were piles of boxes. He had no marketing skills, so they just sat there. Even though a lot of masks were sold at that time, he couldn't sell them. Once we went, he gave us a box each. They were very good quality masks. So he had everything, but doctor, marketing skills, and not just ordering something, but knowing how to sell it is important too. So, it's also like, when you take an interest, you get information about it from other people.
Absolutely. Once you have the
Information, you connect with skilled people, and your business will grow rapidly, day and night. Absolutely. And I think, doctor, you should first do a survey to see what business you're suited for and whether it will succeed in that area or not. A survey, people's advice, and a survey are necessary.
Okay, another thing is, let me give you an example. There was a guy in our neighborhood who started making vests and towels. Okay, there was a
Sunday market, and he would go to the Sunday market because he had a job, but he had started that business part-time. You see, until you generate a second source, you can't make ends meet. Absolutely, absolutely. So, he knew that it was difficult for him to live on his salary. The kids are also studying, and their expenses will increase in the future. So, he started that. One day, I went to him and asked him to tell me a little bit about how much profit he made, what happened to him. He said that in the 4 Sundays that I went to the Sunday market, not even one vest was sold.
Whoa, 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 4 Sundays and not even one vest sold.
Huh? And like, not even a towel sold. And I was just like this, but I didn't lose hope. So today, look, my whole shop is here. This is the point where you give up. Right? This is the point of testing, I think. You're being tested. And if he'd given up after those 4 weeks, he wouldn't have a shop today. He wouldn't have a big store today. So the truth is, no business fails if it's done right, if its skills are learned. And if you do the best business, but you don't have the skill and you give up, then it fails. Secondly, you also have to be patient.
Patience is
Good, and with that, you have to keep working hard. Usually, people stop working hard, okay? When you stop working hard, despair surrounds you, then obviously no business will work.
absolutely, and
They sell off everything cheap and start a new business. Some people have this habit, they run one business for a day or two, then another. It's like, we want returns immediately. Yeah, we just want, like, we start a business today and become millionaires tomorrow. Exactly, exactly. You gave an example in a podcast. We see someone who's very successful at 40 or 50, earning well, a millionaire. We see that, but we don't see the 20 or 30 years they put in. Yeah, what their sacrifices were, what desires they had in life, and how they achieved it, how much they struggled for it. We miss that.
absolutely, there are
Many successful businessmen who aren't even that educated. If you interview them, you'll find out the secret to their success. The
secret, well, the
secret to success is commitment, hard work, dedication, and sticking with it.
absolutely, that's the
Most important thing, that you stay connected to the work. Connected. When you stay connected, you give it your time, it's impossible not to succeed. Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Sahib, some motivational speakers say, keep your sights high, aim high. But when you aim high, at a big business, and don't look down, then disappointment arises too. When will I get there? Why am I not achieving it? I'm losing everything. But when we look down, we realize we're above many people. When we look up, we always feel like we're very low. But when we look at people below us, we realize we've achieved a lot, we've stepped up. That's right, we should also thank God and not lose hope in His mercy. So, you're absolutely right. The truth is, any business can sink you or save you. It can drown you or lift you up. But doctor, as a math professor, if you analyze it, successful people are usually business owners. I haven't seen any salaried person become a millionaire, even with top grades, nice cars, and a good house. Salaried people often just live hand to mouth, and life passes by. Business owners, on the other hand, can go from rags to riches in a year. It also depends on your satisfaction level. In a job, there are different satisfaction levels. Some achieve them, some don't. But in business, the advantage is that you have assets that can be transferred to your children, to the
whole
family. That's why more people advise it. Times change. There was a time when people preferred jobs. Now, they prefer business. The reason is, doctor, if you analyze it, no salaried person is truly successful. Success comes to those who leave their jobs and take a chance in business. Like your student who left his job and is now more successful and happy. He might have been just getting by in his job. Yes, a job has the benefit of a guaranteed monthly salary. But in business, it's not certain if you'll earn 10 rupees or 10 lakhs. Some people prefer a steady salary and an easy life, not wanting to take risks. That's also true, right? I mean, it's about having fun, enjoying yourself. But they don't realize that life, you see, there's no real rest in it. I've come to understand that life is built on a format of hard work and toil. It's definitely not built on a rest and relax format at all. And if you think there's rest, well, there's no rest in this world, it's in the next. Haha. The reality is you have to keep working hard, keep striving, only then will you achieve success. And success isn't just one step. They say, beyond the stars, there are other worlds. So, as you move forward, you'll have your ups and downs. These highs and lows are part of business. And success here is simply that you keep striving, keep working hard continuously. Yes, it's confirmed that if your business is based on deceit, fraud, and misrepresentation, it will definitely sink one day. Someone said, walk fast, but avoid collisions. If you walk slowly in a crowd, you'll get crushed. The point is, avoid collisions in business. A true businessman doesn't clash.
absolutely.
He says, build as many relationships as possible. There's
Often an auction, right?
some people get stubborn and raise the bid out of spite, but if you're a successful businessman, you understand that if we suddenly raise the bid too high, we'll only hurt ourselves. We'll be at a
Loss. So,
These things are very important. And today's topic is also important because it's a dire need of today's era. It's very necessary. In fact, our people, the younger generation, need guidance on this. After matriculation, young people are worried. If they want a job, they need degrees. If they want to start a business, they need money. But Dr. Sahib, a business can start with zero investment, right? Exactly. It can start. But for that, you have to think first, take some time, and survey your area. Meaning, create a feasibility report to determine what kind of business to start.
absolutely. Good.
Then take it, but take the start and keep working at it. Then hopefully, you become successful. There are many such people. If you analyze the lives of successful people, they always start from the very first step, and it's always done from a small level.
Exactly. So,
Then, God willing, when a person progresses, then further.
successes come their way. It's
Said that the biggest profit is in trade. If you do business, import, export, even small things, it slowly takes you to great heights. As you take interest, as you work hard, your growth also happens. Money multiplies money, right? Yes, money attracts money. Slowly, businesses expand. Exactly. One showroom becomes two, then they open franchises. Even education is a business now. Yes, it's a business. You can teach kids if you want. The fees are so expensive, education is at such a level, it's hard. If you don't generate another income source, you can't educate your kids. Exactly. It's scary. How will we educate the next generation? You invest everything in education, and ultimately, if you don't have enough income, how will you educate them? It's getting hard. Fees are rising daily. Big degrees are hard. It's a big tension for parents. How will we afford these degrees? Actually, education and healthcare, they shouldn't be businesses. They should be basic necessities, a system to build people up, improve them, and keep them healthy. Anyway, all these things are connected, and in today's discussion, I felt that businesses can fail, but those done with honesty, skill, good analysis, understanding your abilities, when they face a downturn, don't panic, stay firm, and the time will come when you succeed. That business is a winner.
Compared to a job,
Exactly, those with jobs are on a fixed track, while business owners face ups and downs, but those who overcome the lows experience great highs. It's the same thing, whoever takes a risk, they fear failure, but success is in the risk. Absolutely, you're right. Success is in the risk. Doctor, it was a great discussion. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you, viewers, for watching the Yasir Jami podcast. Goodbye, God bless.
ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो 1 करोड़ कमाते
1 करोड़ नाज़रीन, 1 करोड़
1 करोड़
पर
एक
मंथ।
जो लेवल 1 सर्टिफाइड है बाय अरामको।
अच्छा,
मैं
ये लोगों
अरामको
को
का सीबीटी पास कर लेता हूँ,
अच्छा
तो इट माइट बी पॉसिबल कि मुझे 15 लाख की नौकरी मिल
अच्छा 5 लाख से डायरेक्ट 15
15
लाख तक चले जाएगी एक कोर्स
जाए
से।
एक कोर्स से।
ये देखें नाजरीन, एक कोर्स किस तरह वो पे को डबल ट्रिपल कर
आपको
देता है।
अरामको
ये
अप्रूवल
एक
अगर
बंदा
मिले
अगर उसके पास डिग्री डिप्लोमा है और उसके बाद स्किल भी है, सर्टिफिकेशन अगर नहीं है तो
जी।
उस स्किल का कोई फायदा नहीं होगा। इंटरव्यू जो बाहर की कंपनी के होते हैं,
जी
जो बाहर की कंपनी हायरिंग के लिए आते हैं, डेलीगेशन आते हैं, इंटरव्यू करते हैं, तो इंटरव्यू में ज्यादातर क्या पूछते हैं? एक्सपीरियंस, स्किल,
एक्चुअली
सर्टिफिकेशन।
एक्चुअली तो जो आजकल एक तो सबसे बड़ी जो प्रॉब्लम है न्यू लोगों के जाने के लिए सबसे बड़ी बात है गल्फ
आप क्या सुजेस्ट करेंगे कि हम सिर्फ डिग्री करके चले जाएं या उसके बाद सर्टिफिकेशन करें? अगर करना चाहें तो कौन सी
बाद में
करें?
उन्होंने कहा कि यार मैंने तो प्राइमा वेरा P6 किया हुआ है और मुझे ये प्लानिंग का काम आता है जो सॉफ्टवेयर आता है और वो प्रमोट हो गया।
अच्छा
इवन वेल्डर से वेल्डर गए लोग और वो वेल्डिंग मैनेजर वहाँ पे लग
अच्छा।
गए। हाँ जी, अब जो मेजर फील्ड गल्फ के अंदर चल रहे हैं ना इस वक्त वो हैं 3-4
सेफ्टी के हवाले से निबोश।
निबोश वो यूके के साथ एफिलिएशन है उसकी। अगर हायर लेवल पे चले जाएं तो CSP है, सर्टिफाइड सेफ्टी प्रोफेशनल, जो अमेरिकन कोर्स है, तो इसको करके आप मैक्सिमम भी अचीव कर सकते हैं। वेल्डिंग इंस्पेक्टर का एक कोर्स होता है, C-suite उसको कहते हैं,
वेल्डिंग इंस्पेक्टर।
वेल्डिंग
अच्छा
इंस्पेक्टर वो यूके की बॉडी है, वो लेती है आपसे उसके ऊपर 6.5 लाख रुपए का
फीस है उसकी। ओए फीस
और
बढ़ जाता है।
अगर आप फेल हो जाए तो वो पैसे जाया
और
हो
आप देखें कि ये सर्टिफिकेशन कैसे जॉब लाखों से करोड़ों में ले गई, यानी
और
जॉब
कोई
तनख्वाह ही करोड़ों में
तालीम
चली गई।
जी, और तालीम नहीं,
तालीम भी नहीं, सर्टिफिकेशन और जो है वो पे
जी,
करोड़ों में।
करोड़ों में। तो मुझे वहाँ पे एक दोस्त मिले तो उन्होंने कहा कि हमारे पास एक वकील साहब हैं, वो भी रिगर बन गए हैं।
अच्छा
हाँ जी,
अच्छा, अपनी पेशे छोड़ के साइड पे आ गए।
रिगर बन गए।
पे जब करोड़ों में है तो दिल तो
करोड़ों में
करता है हम भी
हाँ जी,
पॉडकास्ट छोड़ के उधर ही
ऐसे
जाए।
इवन
तो
मैकेनिकल
मेरे
साल में आपको अगर मिल जाए तो उसके बाद फिर आप 20-25 लाख तो आपके सऊदी अरब में कहीं नहीं गए आपके।
अच्छा, देखें सर्टिफिकेशन कैसे जो है पे को लाखों में ले जाती है और करोड़ों तक बात पहुंच जाती है। देखें सर्टिफिकेशन से आप पहले जॉब ढूंढते हैं, कंपनी ढूंढते हैं, लेकिन आप एक सर्टिफाइड इंजीनियर होते हैं, सर्टिफाइड टेक्नीशियन होते हैं, तो फिर कंपनीज आपको ढूंढती हैं। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। वेलकम टू अनदर पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड। एक नए एपिसोड में मेरे साथ तशरीफ रखते हैं इंजीनियर खलीकुज़्ज़मान साहब। खलीक साहब, बहुत शुक्रिया, आपके कीमती वक्त के लिए शुक्रगुजार हूँ।
थैंक यू सो मच। या साहब, आपने एक दफ़ा दोबारा मौका दिया और इनवाइट किया।
जी जी,
थैंक यू।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। इससे पहले हमने एक पॉडकास्ट की थी जिसमें हमने बहुत सी अच्छी अच्छी बातें की। आज की पॉडकास्ट का मकसद वो लोग जो डिग्री करते हैं, डिप्लोमा करते हैं और मुल्क से बाहर बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज में बड़ी बड़ी जॉब, लाखों की तनख्वाह में, लाखों पे में करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन वो नहीं जानते कि डिग्री के साथ बहुत सी ऐसी रिक्वायरमेंट हैं जो अच्छी पे लेने के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी हैं। आज की इस पॉडकास्ट में हम डिस्कस करेंगे। इंजीनियर खलीकुज़्ज़मान साहब एक इंजीनियर हैं, बहुत सी बाहर की कंपनी में इन्होंने जॉब की है और उसके साथ इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट के टीचर हैं। इनके बहुत से स्टूडेंट बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी में जॉब कर रहे हैं। तो आज इनके एक्सपीरियंस से जानेंगे कि हमें डिग्री के साथ ऐसी कौन सी सर्टिफिकेशंस करनी चाहिए जो हमें अच्छी पे, अच्छी कंपनी और अच्छी अर्निंग का ज़रिया दे सकती हैं। खलीक साहब, इस हवाले से अगर देखा जाए तो डिग्री तो मुकम्मल हो गई,
जी
डिप्लोमा हो गया, कुछ लोग मैट्रिक के बाद बाहर जाना चाहते
जी
हैं। तो क्या डिग्री, डिप्लोमा और मैट्रिक के बाद डायरेक्ट ऐसा कोई ज़रिया है कि लाखों में तनख्वाह लग जाए?
जी, या साहब, एक्चुअली जो है मैट्रिक के बाद ज़ाहिर-सी बात, अगर आपने जाना हो तो आपके पास एक सर्टेन स्किल्स होने चाहिए, हुनरमंद जिसको कहते हैं, आपको कोई काम आना चाहिए। लेकिन अभी फ़िलहाल मैं अपना मौज़ू रखता हूँ कि आप अगर आपने डिप्लोमा किया हुआ है या इंजीनियरिंग की डिग्री की हुई है, तो उसके बाद आप किस तरीके से अपने आप को एक वैल्यूएबल प्रोडक्ट बना सकते हैं, ताकि आपको अपॉर्च्युनिटीज़ आपकी बढ़ जाएँ। तो सबसे पहले एक्चुअली ये होता है कि जब भी कोई बंदा डिप्लोमा करता है या इंजीनियरिंग करता है, आपको पता है इंजीनियरिंग के बेशुमार फ़ील्ड्स हैं
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल, डिसिप्लिन है
और
डिफरेंट।
बहुत सारे डिसिप्लिन्स हैं। लेकिन कुछ सर्टिफ़िकेशंस ऐसी हैं जो कि यूके की हैं, अमेरिकन की हैं, उसको करने के बाद आप उस फ़ील्ड के अंदर अपनी डिग्री से भी ज़्यादा वैल्यूएबल बन जाते हैं और आप उस फ़ील्ड को अपना सकते हैं रिगार्डलेस ऑफ योर बेसिक डिग्री।
अच्छा, ये जो सर्टिफिकेशन है, यानी ये एक बंदा अगर उसने पास डिग्री, डिप्लोमा है और उसके बाद स्किल भी है,
जी,
सर्टिफिकेशन अगर नहीं है तो
जी।
उस स्किल का कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होगा?
सर, एक्चुअली होता ऐसे है कि जो आपको फ़ॉरेन में जॉब जो कंपनी ऑफ़र कर रही हैं, उनको तो स्किल वाला बंदा चाहिए, जो कि या फिर 2 बातें होती हैं। एक तो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है क्लाइंट की तरफ से कि हमें इस सर्टिफ़िकेशन का बंदा चाहिए। तो एक तो वो तरीका है। एक ये है कि आप स्किल्ड इतने हैं कि आपको वैसे
नहीं,
उनको आपकी ज़रूरत है।
आपकी बात बजाय मेरे
जी,
कहने का मकसद ये है कि एक बंदा वेल्डर है, अच्छा वेल्डिंग आती है,
जी,
या वो प्लम्बर है या
जी,
कोई भी टेक्निकल स्किल उसके पास है,
जी।
लेकिन उसके पास कोई सर्टिफिकेशन नहीं है, कंपनी तो उस चीज़ को तस्लीम नहीं करेगी ना।
बिल्कुल, ज़ाहिर-सी बात है कि आप एज़ ए स्किल्ड वर्कर जा सकते हैं उसमें।
हुँ,
लेकिन आप उस पोज़ीशन पे तो नहीं जा सकते जहाँ पे कोई डिप्लोमा होल्डर या इंजीनियर जा सकता है। आप जा सकते हैं, जो वेल्डर हैं और जो प्लम्बर हैं, जो एसी टेक्नीशियंस हैं, मैकेनिक हैं, वो जा सकते हैं, नो डाउट बहुत सारी आती हैं। लेकिन आपको पता है जैसे-जैसे एजुकेशन बढ़ रही है, तो उसके लिए भी मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया डिफाइन करते जा रहे हैं। अब ऑटो मैकेनिक, डीज़ल पहले ऐसे ही चले जाते थे लोग एक्सपीरियंस वाले, अब कहते हैं कि डीएई मैकेनिकल होना चाहिए। तो इसमें ये है कि क्राइटेरिया दिन-ब-दिन सख्त होता जा रहा है। स्किल प्लस एजुकेशन भी कुछ ना कुछ होनी चाहिए।
आप क्या सजेस्ट करेंगे कि हम सिर्फ़ डिग्री करके चले जाएँ या उसके बाद सर्टिफिकेशन करें? अगर करना चाहें तो
अस
कौन-सी करें?
एक्चुअली होता इस तरह है कि सबसे पहले तो आपको कोई जॉब मिल जाए,
हुँ,
अपने कंट्री में जॉब मिल जाए। तो आपको पता है कि इंजीनियरिंग में या प्रोडक्शन में जब आप आते हैं, तो मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के फ़ील्ड्स होते हैं अंदर, इंडस्ट्री के अंदर भी। या तो आप प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट में जा सकते हैं, आप
बिल्कुल,
प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट में जा सकते हैं, आप क्वालिटी डिपार्टमेंट में जा सकते हैं,
डिज़ाइनिंग है।
डिज़ाइनिंग है, इस तरीके से मुख्तलिफ़ फ़ील्ड्स होते हैं। तो एक्चुअली होता इस तरह है कि सर्टिफ़िकेशन स्टार्ट में कोई नहीं करता, अगर डेवलप कंट्री हो तो। पहले आप जॉब ढूँढ लेते हैं, जॉब के बाद क्या होता है कि आप फ़र्ज़ करें प्लानिंग में चले गए हैं, तो आप प्लानिंग के हवाले से जो कोर्सेज़ हैं वो करेंगे और इंडस्ट्री आपको उसमें हेल्प आउट करेगी और वो आपको तैयार करती जाएगी और आप सर्टिफ़िकेशन करते जाएँगे और आप एक्सपर्ट बन जाएँगे।
हुँ,
उसके बाद आप मूव करेंगे। लेकिन एक्चुअली हुआ क्या है कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर अपॉर्च्युनिटीज़ बड़ी कम हो गई हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम ये चाहते हैं कि अब हम बाहर ही चले जाएँ फ़ौरन।
हर शख्स
हाँ
जाना
जी,
चाहता है।
और अब डिग्री तो हमारे पास है, लेकिन जब उसके साथ उसके ऊपर कोई फ़ॉरेन इदारे का कोई अच्छा सर्टिफ़िकेट का साथ कॉम्बो बन जाता है, तो बड़ा एक लीथल कॉम्बिनेशन बन जाता है, जिसकी वजह से आपकी अपॉर्चुनिटीज बाहर बहुत मल्टीप्लाई हो जाती हैं कई गुना,
बिल्कुल।
और आप इजीली जॉब बाहर सर्च कर सकते
ये
हैं।
बात तो आपकी बजाय है कि अगर हम बाहर जाते हैं डिग्री करके भी और ऐसी कंपनी में जाते हैं जहाँ पे कम है,
जी
अब एक बाहर ज़िंदगी गुज़ारनी है, घर से दूर रहना है, अपनों
जी
से दूर रहना है,
जी बिल्कुल।
तो फिर आप क्या सजेस्ट करेंगे कि किस फ़ील्ड में जाएँ और कौन से सर्टिफ़िकेशन करें?
यह सब इसके अंदर कुछ ज़ाहिर बात है कि जितना आप पैसे ज़्यादा लगेंगे, जितनी एफर्ट ज़्यादा होगी जिस सर्टिफिकेशन पे, उसकी वैल्यू भी उतनी ज़्यादा होगी। सबसे पहले तो आप अपना फील्ड डिफाइन करें। आप केमिकल इंजीनियर हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर हैं, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर हैं, आप कोई भी इंजीनियर हैं, तो आप प्लानिंग इंजीनियर बन सकते हैं।
अच्छा।
एक कोर्स है प्राइमावेरा P6,
जी, जी, जी। बिल्कुल,
तो
बिल्कुल।
आप उसको करके प्लानिंग में आ सकते हैं। एक्चुअली होना क्या चाहिए, पाकिस्तान में आप प्लानिंग में लग जाएँ किसी डिपार्टमेंट में और फिर वो कोर्स करें। लेकिन क्या है कि अब हमारे पास वो वसाइल नहीं है, तो हम ये करते हैं कि प्राइमावेरा P6 पहले ही कर लें, ताकि हमें कुछ जॉब उसके रिलेटेड मिल जाए। यहाँ पे ना मिले तो बाहर मिल जाएगी, और फिर हमारा वो फील्ड डिफाइन हो जाएगा। अब जो मर्ज़ी इंजीनियर, अब प्लानिंग के अंदर लोग लाखों रुपए कमा रहे हैं।
लेकिन वो सर्टिफ़ाइड हैं कि उनको
सर्टि
प्राइमावेरा आता है,
हाँ जी,
सॉफ्टवेयर आता है,
सॉफ्टवेयर आता है।
स्किल
तो
आती है।
आपको, और ये एक पीस ऑफ पेपर नहीं है, आप उसको इस तरीके से करें कि आपको वो सॉफ्टवेयर भी आता हो। तो जब आप जाएँगे, तो फर्स्ट टाइम एंट्री तो ज़ाहिर बात है मुश्किल होती है। ये नहीं है कि आप प्राइमावेरा P6 कर लें तो आपको फ़ौरन ही कोई कंपनी बैठी है आपको ले लेंगे। आपको जूनियर लेवल से शुरू करना पड़ेगा। इवन सम टाइम ये होता है कि बड़े छोटे स्केल पे बंदे कंपनीज़ के अंदर एंटर हुए हैं। बाद में उन्होंने कहा कि यार मैंने तो प्राइमावेरा P6 किया हुआ है और मुझे ये प्लानिंग का काम आता है जो सॉफ्टवेयर आपका है, और वो प्रमोट हो गए।
अच्छा,
इवन वेल्डर गए लोग और वो वेल्डिंग मैनेजर वहाँ पे लग
अच्छा।
गए। हाँ जी। और इसके अलावा बहुत सारे लोग क्या नाम है, डिपार्टमेंट चेंज कर लेते हैं। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, एक बंदा सेफ्टी के अंदर है,
हुँ।
उसने कुछ सर्टिफ़िकेशंस की, वो सेफ्टी में चला गया, और बाय द टाइम वो सर्टिफ़िकेशन करता रहता है, तो उसको उसी कंपनी में चांस मिल जाता है कि आप इस डिपार्टमेंट में आ जाएँ। तो लोगों को जो कंपैटिबल हों, जिसके अंदर वो कंपैटिबल हों, बंदे को पता लग जाता है। और फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल जैसे मैं दुबई में था,
हुँ।
तो दुबई में उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट थी कि एक आप केमिकल इंजीनियर रखें। इस
अच्छा,
वजह से मुझे जॉब मिल गई। उसके बाद दुबई म्युनिसिपैलिटी ने कहा कि हम आईएसओ 17025 का ट्रेनिंग भी होनी चाहिए।
वो कंपनी करा रही
वो
थी।
हाँ जी, तो वो कंपनी ने उस दौर में, यानी कि आज के दौर का आप देखें, 1.5 लाख रुपए मेरे ऊपर लगाया, और मुझे वो सर्टिफ़िकेशन जो है वो करवाई।
अच्छा,
एक्चुअली तरीका ये होता है कि आपको एक चांस मिल जाए और फिर आप उसमें जो फ़ील्ड आपका बन गया उसके अंदर मज़ीद सर्टिफ़िकेशन करते जाएँ और आगे चलते जाएँ। लेकिन हम बात कर रहे हैं कि शॉर्टकट की,
अच्छा।
कि आप डिग्री के साथ आप खुद सोचें। अब जो मेजर फ़ील्ड गल्फ़ के अंदर चल रहे हैं ना इस वक़्त, वो हैं 3-4। एक तो क्वालिटी का है, एक पेंटिंग का है, एक वेल्डिंग का है। ये एक्चुअली सारे क्वालिटी कंट्रोल के अंदर आ जाते हैं, कि आपने मैकेनिकल वर्क की क्वालिटी, इसके लिए कोई सर्टिफ़िकेशंस हैं, वेल्डिंग की क्वालिटी या पेंटिंग की क्वालिटी, इन सब की अलग-अलग सर्टिफ़िकेशंस हैं, और ये सारे मैकेनिकल वर्क के अंदर आ जाते हैं। लेकिन कोई भी इंजीनियर, कोई भी डिप्लोमा होल्डर इनको कर सकता है। इसके बाद प्लानिंग का, जैसे मैंने पहले ज़िक्र किया, वो हो गया। या इसके बाद आपके पास कुछ और भी डिफरेंट किस्म के कोर्सेज़ हैं। आईएसओ इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड ऑर्गनाइज़ेशन है, उसके भी कुछ कोर्सेज़ हैं। अगर आप यहाँ पे किसी फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल पेंट इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहे हैं, तो आप आईएसओ 9001 क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट, इस तरह कोर्सेज़ कर लें, तो फिर भी आप अपने फ़ील्ड के अंदर भी बाहर जा सकते हैं। और इनमें सबसे जो ईज़ी तरीन है, वो है सेफ्टी। क्योंकि सेफ्टी जो अब आपको पता है कि यूएई ने भी वीज़ा रूल्स सख्त कर दिए हैं हमारे लिए, ओमान ने भी सख्त कर दिए हैं। कतर कुछ हद तक ओपन है, लेकिन उसके पास उतनी एरिया नहीं है या उतनी स्पेस नहीं है। काफ़ी लोग वहाँ जा भी रहे हैं। तो फिलहाल हमारे पास जो ऑप्शन बच गया वो सऊदी अरब बच गया। और सऊदी अरब में आपको पता है कि जो साबिक है सऊदी अरेबिया बेसिक इंडस्ट्रियल कॉर्पोरेशन, साबिक जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसके कम से कम 62 प्लांट्स हैं। और सऊदी अरामको का नाम किसने नहीं सुना?
जी, जी,
और
बड़ी-बड़ी कंपनीज़ हैं,
जी,
बड़ी कंपनी,
दुन
लेकिन स्किल होना
दुनिया
तो
की सबसे
ज़रूरी है
बड़ी
ना।
कंपनी है।
बिल्कुल।
जी, अब वहाँ पे ये है कि सबसे जो ईज़ी काम है, वहाँ पे सेफ्टी ऑफ़िसर, हर 15 बंदों के ऊपर 1 सेफ्टी ऑफ़िसर चाहिए, सऊदी अरामको में। और इसी तरह मुख्तलिफ प्लांट्स टू प्लांट्स वेरी करता है, 15 टू 25 के ऊपर 1 बंदा सेफ्टी का चाहिए हो। अब किसी कंपनी को काम मिला है और उसकी 1000 मैन पावर जा रही है, तो उनको आप देखिए 100 के ऊपर 4 और 1000 के ऊपर 40 उनको सेफ्टी ऑफ़िसर चाहिए।
बिल्कुल,
तो
बिल्कुल।
उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा हैं। आप यकीन करें, लोगों ने एफएससी करके और कुछ सर्टिफिकेशन सेफ्टी की करके आज वो लाखों रुपए कमा रहे हैं। लेकिन अब थोड़ी सैचुरेशन होगी, इसलिए कम से कम इंजीनियर या डिप्लोमा होल्डर है, तो सबसे पहले इसके अंदर कोर्स आता है वो निबोश का आता है, जो यूके
सेफ्टी के हवाले से
जी,
निबोश।
निबोश। वो यूके के साथ एफिलिएशन है उसकी। अगर हायर लेवल पे चले जाएँ तो सीएसपी है, सर्टिफाइड सेफ्टी प्रोफेशनल, जो अमेरिकन कोर्स है। तो इसको करके आप मैक्सिमम भी अचीव कर सकते हैं। तो लेकिन बेसिक आप निबोश कर लें, तो आपको कुछ ही अरसे में होपफुली अगर आप इंटरव्यू दें। अभी मुझे एक स्टूडेंट मिला बाहिर, तो वो मेरे से कॉन्टैक्ट में था, तो वो कुछ भी नहीं करके गया था। तब भी उसको सेफ्टी के अंदर अपॉर्च्युनिटी जो है वो सऊदी अरब में मिल
विदाउट
गई।
एनी
हाँ जी,
सर्टिफिकेशन।
विदाउट इंजीनियर था वो, लेकिन उसको मिल गई और उसके बाद में उसने निबोश कर लिया, जैसा कि हम पहले ज़िक्र कर रहे थे। तो होता ये है कि ये सबसे ईज़ी वे है, इसके अंदर इतना टेक्निकल नॉलेज भी नहीं है, सिर्फ़ आपको क्लाइंट को इंटरव्यू पास करना है और अपने जो कंपनी आपको लेके जाए उसका इंटरव्यू क्लियर करना है, आपको नॉलेज होना चाहिए, थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज, प्रैक्टिकल वर्क नहीं चाहिए। थ्योरेटिकली पहले आपने टेस्ट क्लियर किया, फिर आपने इनफ थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज बनाया कि आपने इधर में इंटरव्यू क्लियर किया और सऊदी अरामको में क्लाइंट का इंटरव्यू क्लियर किया, तो आप 3-4